So like I said, you just don't want to lose that, because that is what creates your end play for your worm gear. Now at this point, you can start pushing from the spool side. From the spool side, you can start sliding the worm gear and its guide out, and then the plastic support will pop out of that side. Okay, so start sliding that out, and then your plastic guide will pop out. Okay, that supports that, and it is directional. Okay, it is a directional piece. And then just keep sliding that out, and now you're free. You have your worm gear out. Now you would have to take the little bitty baby circlip out of that side to pull the gear off and slide the worm gear out this side if you wanted to take the worm gear out. There is absolutely no reason to take that worm gear out. This does not have bearings in it. You just pull this down like that. So you're just going to pull that down like so and squirt oil in there. That's all you're going to do. So you're just going to give it a little pull down like that and get that oil behind that. That's all there is to oil in that. So you do not need to take that circlip off the gear side so that shaft will come out the other side. There's no purpose. I mean, you can see you have everything at your disposal right there. There's your worm gear. You can get to it to lube it. There's absolutely no need to take that apart. I would not recommend taking it apart. That little circlip that's in there is a nightmare. It's smaller. It's harder to deal with. It wants to bend. It will definitely spread itself out enough that you'll have to use the pliers to squeeze it tight to get tension on it again so it wants to hold, and then you'll probably have to use these pliers to put it back in with a little bit of work from the screwdriver. Real pain. Switch back to your Phillips screwdriver, because 9 times out of 10, any good reel worth its weight in gold, like all the KastKings, they will have a bearing hidden underneath your crankshaft. It's going to be 2 Phillips screws that hold that on. Okay, take those out. Now, once you have those out, you just give it a little wiggle, and out it will come. Okay, you just give that thing a little, do it upside down here, a little wiggle, and out that comes. Now, pay attention to this plate. Okay, this little plate right here that's on there. Okay, it can fall off really easy because it's got a small hole and a big hole. Okay, I'm gonna pop this one off to show you. See that? It's a grooved hole. It's a locked keyhole. Big groove, small groove. Okay, that has to go on a certain way so that this little section with the groove, that little section right there with that groove, can go back in and meet with all the works here. Okay, has to match up with all that. So take a picture of it. See how it's on there so that you get it back in right. Okay, no need to take that off. Okay, no need to really even take that off, but as you can tell, it's very loose and can fall off. So take a picture of it, see how it's on there, and know that you'll get it back together right. Now, sometimes when you pull that shaft out, the bearing will come off on the shaft. KastKing, they like to put bearings in that stay in place, and I like that. I don't like bearings flopping all over the place. And there's my bearing right there. Stays in the case. And that's been the case with every one of them I've torn apart. They stay in the case, but there's the bearing. It stays in the case, and I love that. One less thing to worry about. So now we're down as far as you need to take it apart. If you did need to take it further apart, all there is one more Phillips screw. That Phillips screw right there, will take this guts apart. Now, the problem with these guts is these 2 little springs right here. You have to watch those springs and how they go together. Okay, if you play with your button and you're sitting here clicking this thing on and off and on and off, okay, if you're doing that while this is all apart and nothing's here holding those springs into those holes that they go into, they can pop out, and then you're freaking out. So when you get it down this far apart, when you're tearing them apart, don't play with the freaking button too much. Leave it in its up position, okay? Just leave it in its up position. But when you get it down that far, take pictures, especially close-up pictures of those two little return springs. There's one up here and there's one down here. Take pictures of that. Take very close pictures of that so you know how those go back in. You'll know which one, the heavy duty ones at the top, the smaller ones at the bottom, and you'll know which way they go through the holes. Super important. If those accidentally pop out because you're dinking around with something, or you do need to take that section apart, good luck if you don't know how they go together. You'll want pictures of that. And then there's also, I forgot, there is one more screw then you would have to take out, and that's going to be hidden in the handle. That's what holds the handle on. There's a screw that goes into the handle, and that has to come out so that you can pop the handle off, so that this big long this metal piece right here goes all the way through the handle, and there's a screw on the back side of the handle, or the button, that actually goes through that metal to hold the button onto it. So other than that, we are completely apart. So now I'm going to continue the video with what you clean, what you look for, all the things to make it, to trick it out and make it actually work much better. So we'll be back with all that.